Zion Williamson was supposed to break the normal timeline. That was the whole appeal. When he came out of Duke, people were not talking about him like a regular #1 pick. They were talking about him like a future face of the league.
Zion live up to the LeBron hype?
Yes, he can.
Zion just continues to be incredible.
Zion is the most unique athlete I've coached at Duke.
Like the closest thing to a LeBron-level event prospect the NBA had seen in years. At Duke, he averaged 22.6 points and 8.9 rebounds in 33 games, won National Player of the Year awards, shot 68% from the field, and looked like somebody playing a different sport from everyone else on the court. And honestly, I get why people lost their minds. He was 285 pounds and moved like a guard.
I don't think he can play at that weight long, extended periods of time at 285. I just don't believe it.
He could bulldoze a center, outrun a wing, and then jump like he had springs in both legs. The highlights were so violent, they almost made the details disappear. People remember the dunks, but the touch was there too. The timing, the soft finishes, the quick second jump, the way he could catch, gather, and explode before the defense really understood where he was. Then he got to the NBA, and the strange part of the story began. Because when Zion actually played, he has mostly been awesome. This is what makes the whole thing frustrating. This is not a story about a hyped prospect who turned out not to be that good. This is a story about a player whose talent absolutely translated, only for his body and availability to keep interrupting the argument before it could become something bigger. Just look at the numbers. In his delayed rookie season, after tearing his meniscus in preseason, he played only 24 games and still averaged 22.5 points on 58% shooting. The next year, he played 61 games and jumped to 27 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 3.7 assists on 61.1% from the field. In 2022-23, he played only 29 games, though still averaged 26 points and 4.6 assists. In 2023-24, he finally got to 70 games and put up 22.9 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 5 assists. In 2024-25, he was back down to only 30 games, averaging 24.6 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 5.3 assists. This season, 2025-26, he has played 55 games and is averaging 21.3 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 3.3 assists on 59.8% shooting. For his career, he is at 24 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 4.1 assists across 269 games. That production is why people still hang on. He's already a two-time All-Star, and the Pelicans' own bio notes how quickly he stacked rare scoring feats early in his career, including becoming an All-Star before turning 21. Even his debut was absurd. 22 points in a little over 18 minutes with a fourth-quarter burst that made it feel like the league had just been handed a cheat code. That is the weirdest part of Zion. The production is real. The efficiency is real. The pressure on the rim is real.
Showtime.
The problem is that the seasons keep getting chopped up into fragments.
He will.
He missed most of his rookie year because of the torn meniscus. He missed the entire 2021-22 season because of the foot injury.
Against one of the best rebounding teams in the country in North Carolina.
Zion went down, looked like...
He missed huge chunks of 22 and 23 with a hamstring problem. He finally stayed on the floor for 70 games in 2023-24, and it looked like he might finally be stabilizing. Then, 2024-25 dropped back to only 30 games. This season has been better, though even now he has missed time with hamstring, hip, ankle, foot illness, and other lower body issues. NBC noted earlier this month that his career-best 35-game streak ended after he had already missed 17 games this year with hamstring and hip issues. So when people ask what happened to Zion, I think the answer is pretty simple. His game has always asked a massive amount from his body.
Zion for 4 for 4! Welcome to the NBA!
He is not a finesse wing who loves off jumpers and careful angles. He is an impact athlete. Every game for him is collisions, violent deceleration, explosive gathers, awkward landings, and repeated attacks into loaded paint. Add in the weight he has carried for most of his career, and you can see why the lower body injury cycle keeps returning.
Zion on the spin, gets to the strong side and gets to the line.
Knee, foot, hamstring, hip, ankle. It is mostly lived there. And once that starts, another problem shows up: rhythm. A player like Zion needs rhythm more than people realize. His value is not just he jumps high. His value is that he can overwhelm a defense again and again until the defense starts cheating, then read help, then finish anyway.
Williamson leans in, couldn't finish, snatches.
That takes timing. It takes conditioning. It takes trust in your body. If every season turns to stop, rehab, return, ramp up, sit again, you never really get the runway needed to build a true MVP campaign. This is why his career feels so strange. He has been available just enough to remind everyone what the ceiling was, and unavailable just enough to keep that ceiling mostly theoretical. Cause let's be honest here. If Zion had played 70+ games year after year with this kind of scoring efficiency, we're probably talking about multiple All-NBA teams by now, maybe a real MVP ballot traction, maybe a completely different Pelicans era.
Goes Williamson down the middle, slashing his way to the hole. Got it!
Instead, the conversation around him keeps swinging between awe and exhaustion. One week it's, all right, nobody can stop this guy going left. The next week is, wait, he's out again? That whiplash has followed the Pelicans too.
Season high 38 Williamson driving inside.
They've never really gotten the clean, uninterrupted version of team building around him. The offense bends around his rim pressure when he plays, then has to be rethought when he sits. And the actual basketball, when he's healthy, is pretty wild. He's 6'6", around 284 pounds on ESPN's current profile, and still scores like a center with the handle of a forward. He gets to the rim constantly. He finishes through contact. He has surprisingly soft touch around the basket. He's become a better passer than people expected too. Those assist numbers are not fake. He can hit cutters, skip to the corner, and punish help when he sees it early enough. The catch is that his style leaves almost no room for being at 85%. Some stars can survive that. A shooter can lose a little burst and still live off touch. A jumbo playmaker can shift into pace and manipulation. Zion's greatness comes from collapse force. He bends the defense with brute pressure. If the burst is a little lower, if the lift is a little lower, if the body is not fully trusted, the whole thing loses a layer. That doesn't mean he becomes bad. It just means he stops looking like the apocalypse. And I think that's where the LeBron comparison got tricky too. LeBron was hyped as an all-around basketball supercomputer. Zion was hyped as a force of nature. Those are not exactly the same thing. And one of those archetypes depends more heavily on durability. If your superpower is physical inevitability, then physical interruptions hit harder. Still, I don't think Zion is finished as a serious player. He's only 25. He already has seasons of 27 points and 26 points on absurd efficiency. He's shown he can be a playmaker more than expected. He got to 70 games just 2 seasons ago, so the idea of a relatively stable season is not dead. And this year, even on a struggling Pelicans team, he has been productive again and recently looked more like himself. Reuters and ESPN both noted solid recent stretches, and outside reporting has pointed out he has appeared in 45 of the last 46 games before a recent ankle issue. The future probably comes down to one thing. Can he string healthy months together often enough that a team can build real community around him? If the answer is yes, I think he can be a top 15 player in the league, maybe even better in the right year. His efficiency is too rare, and there are still not many human beings alive who can do what he does at the rim. If the answer is no, then his career starts drifting into one of the saddest categories in basketball. The player everyone remembers through possibilities instead of postseason runs. My guess is somewhere in the middle. I don't think the clean future MVP 10 straight healthy seasons version is coming back. I also don't think he's headed for a sudden fall off a cliff. More likely, he becomes one of the league's great conditional stars, terrifying when available, still worth building around in shorter windows, still capable of making a playoff series weird if he arrives healthy at the right time. That is not the destiny people imagined for him at Duke, though it's still a very serious career. And that is why Zion remains such a strange case. He's not a bust, he's not a myth, he's not some overhyped high school clip that vanished under NBA lights. He's a real star-level talent whose career has been repeatedly broken into pieces by injuries, conditioning questions, and the simple fact that explosive bodies are fragile bodies more often than fans want to admit. So when I look at Zion now, I don't really ask whether he can still be special. I think we already know that answer. I ask whether his body will ever give him a long enough stretch to prove what a level of special he actually is. Because if that window ever stays open for a full season, the league is gonna have a problem. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and check out our last video on the year the NBA couldn't stop Shaq.